In the pantheon of ancient Greek gods, there was no figure more contradictory and beautiful than Apollo. He is not just a god, he is an ideal. The ideal of male beauty, harmony, and reason. But behind this radiant exterior lies a complex fate, full of tragedies, victories, and unrequited love. Today, we will talk about how the light was born, how the god healer could send a plague, and how a prophet remained unheard by his beloved. We will tell the legend it all began with jealousy. The queen of the gods, Hera, learned that her husband Zeus had been consumed with passion for the titaness Leto. Leto was to give birth to twins, but Hera swore that no solid ground under the sun would accept the woman in labor. Leto wandered through cities and lands, but everywhere she was turned away. People feared the wrath of the great goddess. Despair had already gripped the titaness when a barren, rocky island rose from the sea before her. Its name was Delos. The island was poor and drifted on the waves like a splinter of wood, but it agreed to take Leto in. For 9 days and 9 nights, the goddess was in agony. Hera, unrelenting, detained Eileithyia, the goddess of childbirth, in the heavens. It was only on the 10th day, thanks to the intervention of other goddesses, that Leto was able to give birth. First came Artemis into the world, the future huntress and mistress of animals. Then Apollo was born. As soon as the infant came into the light, everything around was illuminated with a dazzling brightness. The island of Delos, previously floating and forlorn, stopped forever, sending its roots down into the seabed. Swans, the sacred birds of Apollo, circled the island 7 times, foretelling the great future of the newborn. The goddess Themis herself fed the infant with nectar and ambrosia. And a miracle occurred. As soon as he had tasted the food of the gods, Apollo cast off his swaddling clothes and demanded a bow and a lyre. Apollo grew, not by the day, but by the hour. He reached maturity and yearned for a great deed. Remembering how his mother had been persecuted, he decided to avenge the monster that had once threatened Leto, the dragon Python. Python was a creature born of the goddess Gaia. He dwelt in the vicinity of Delphi, in a deep gorge, guarding an ancient oracle. He was the enormous serpent, sowing fear and devastation. Apollo appeared at Python's lair. The mountains trembled at the monster's hissing, but the young god did not flinch. He drew the string of his silver bow. One after another, 100 arrows embedded themselves in the serpent's body. Python perished, writhing in his death throes, but the joy of victory was overshadowed. Python was not just a beast, he was a favorite of Gaia, the goddess of the earth. The murder of her son required atonement. To cleanse himself of the taint of blood, Apollo journeyed to the distant valley of Tempe. There, in a sacred grove, they washed him and sprinkled him with water, and on his head they placed a wreath of laurel, the first tree that Apollo had planted by his temple, loving it for its evergreen nature. Cleansed, Apollo returned to Delphi. On the site of Python's demise, he founded a sanctuary and established the Pythian Games in honor of his victory. And within the temple itself, he installed the Pythia, a prophetess, to declare the will of the gods to mortals. But how to find priests for his new temple? Apollo spotted a ship at sea carrying Cretan sailors. He transformed into a dolphin, leaped onto the deck, and in his formidable form, guided the ship to the shores of Crissa. There, resuming his divine appearance, he proclaimed to the sailors, "From this day forward, you shall be the first priests of my temple." And so, Delphi became the religious center of Hellas. But even the great god of light is not immune to the pangs of the heart. One day, Apollo encountered a beautiful nymph. the daughter of the river god Peneus, Daphne. He was captivated by her beauty. However, the cause of this passion lay in the mischief of another deity. Little Eros, the son of Aphrodite, was playing with his bow. Apollo, proud of his recent victory over Python, said to him, "What do you need, boy? With such a fearsome weapon, leave arrows to me. They suit me." Offended, Eros replied, "Your arrows may strike all, but mine will strike you." Eros shot 2 arrows. A golden one, carrying love, pierced Apollo's heart. A leaden one, carrying revulsion, pierced Daphne's heart. Apollo blazed with passion. He pursued the nymph, begging for her affection in return. He played the lyre for her, told her of his deeds, but Daphne, driven by the leaden arrow, fled from him in terror. "Wait, nymph," cried Apollo. "I am not your enemy. I am no simple shepherd. I am the son of Zeus,